react to our Shadowverse. What's going on in our Shadowverse? I haven't been on the Reddit in so long. Sometimes the game feels like it just wants you to stop winning at all costs. If you have played League of Legends before, great start. It has a popular theory that there is a loser queue where the game intentionally pairs you up with bad players and making you lose consecutively to balance the rank ladder / make some adjustments. Riot has never admitted about the existence of loser queue, and there is no proof of its existence. But there's also no proof saying it doesn't exist.
Oh, man.
What a sentence! What a sentence! That is so funny! I think Shadowverse has that system too. I just finished my GP final run, and it felt like the game is cock-blocking me from playing the game. 3 worse decks in the tactics pool to choose from, horrible draft pool, then 2 mirror matches straight. Everyone knows that an Evo mirror going second has a huge advantage unless they brick, and the first player has little to no chance of winning. The game gave me 2 Evo mirror matches, both going first straight after the draft. The run was basically over even before I could do anything, just because I got first 2 times in a row in Evo mirror. What the fuck do you even do at this point if going first and second can just decide a game before both players have started playing anything? Just top left? I really hope Cygames balances the second player advantage in WB before BS like this happen. This is just a rage post, and I just wanted to rant after my GP final run ended before I could even play it. Sorry for your inconvenience. Oh well, they're pretty chill at the end there. Outliers happen, cope harder. You're not that important. Dude, the comments are mean. That's a funny post though. That is absolutely conspiracy theory main character stuff. Will you make the jump to Worlds Beyond? Personally, I have a lot of love towards SV. I do plan to move to Worlds Beyond. Upcoming expansion story and Gacha leaders will be there. They can have the new game engine. Content's always king. True. I'll play both. But they announced things like throwback rotation, permanent custom, which changed my mind. Very nice. I kind of agree. So over with SV's current game state. Beyond will be new and fresh with the mini games tacked onto it. Will keep me invested whenever there's shit metas. Looks like most people are gonna try it out. I mean, like, listen, I think that generally people are just going to try out. Anybody who's played Shadowverse 1 is going to try out Worlds Beyond. The only thing is how much of outsider eyes can they get on the game? You know? How many outsider eyes can they get on the game? Because if we don't grow past the player base we have now, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a reason why they rebooted. It's maybe to make the new game fresh or whatever, but it would be a huge missed opportunity if they didn't take the opportunity to get people who don't already like Shadowverse. And so it has come to this. The shadow of sunset falls upon this game. What? So dramatic. I was not here for the first days of the game, the glory days, to hear some say it. There was English support staff. They would actually listen to players outside Japan. And on the Japanese side, there were physical events and spin-offs peripheral to the game that now only lead to broken links should one be dedicated enough to hop over the language fence. Even outside of English and Japanese, there was content. And today, the dust of their ambition to go worldwide echoes still. On Bagoum, another relic of the elder days, you can find the remains of a Korean voiceover, an endeavor abandoned after Steel Rebellion, which is also about the time Unlimited Balance started to break. Lemonia can speak Korean, but Alana cannot. That is such a funny way to put it. Lemonia can speak Korean, but Alana cannot. The older flavor texts were better written. Go read. What a nitpick. Go read Professor of Taboo's text and try to think of another that can match it. The older stories in story mode were also translated to French, and I surmise that they did so too for German, Spanish, and Italian. But I haven't checked. They haven't done the same for the more recent stories. The downfall, if that term is apt, began long ago. The older the leader poll, the more votes there were. It might just be because the votes used to be more concentrated in the top 3, but I don't believe so, given the circumstances. This is older than the polls, though. Wonderland Dreams was likely the start. That's around the time when the aforementioned things began to disappear. Possibly because Wonderland Dreams sent so many players fleeing, thereby reducing revenue. And if their corporate is anything normal, starting a vicious cycle. They used to care more. Back in the day, when they were doing nerfs, like for the neutral blood nerfs, they'd actually tell you why and release win rates as evidence. Now they don't. Sure, they kept releasing new things for the game for a while after that, like Portal, and they just glossing over that, huh? That's a whole ass class, brother. And the rotation unlimited split, but I suspect that they had that planned even before WLD released. They probably downsized after the player base bled in the wake of the neutral mess and stopped pouring as much into SV. We didn't get a Shadowverse next for a long time after the first, and they never shook the game up like that again. Until now, that is. SV1 has filled out all the space it can, and I'm glad they're moving on to the next game. There's only so much design space within the rather simple, compared to say MTG structure of SV, and only so much power to creep. Masking increased power is increasingly lenient or powerful quest-based synergy, and reskinning old cards can only do so much. It's been a good time, and I wish that they'd let us take mementos of it with us. The ROB gang will inevitably be rebirthed in the new games. They're the foundation to Cygame's first IP, and therefore will have a special place. So it's not them that I'm worried about. We'll probably get a new Albert or a new Jean in one way or another. But we'll only have had Kir's Isle for 5 seconds before this game becomes a zombie forever. And we're probably not getting him back if they refuse support non-collab leaders. I think that shafts newer leaders quite hard, and they don't deserve that. I want to keep both Alanas, dammit. One can only hope. Well, okay. Let's break it down. First of all, very dramatic. I appreciate the pros. You have some good points, but you do have also some insane points, okay? Let's break it down. First, you think there's no English support staff and they don't listen to players outside of Japan? The fact that I'm still getting sponsored is testament to that. SVO Mini, the content creator support program, community tournament support. It's all in English. It's all there. You just don't know about it. You didn't look into it enough. It's still here. What are you talking about? Not only that, we still have World Championship slots for Worlds Beyond. And the wildcard slots are open globally. These are all things that you're disregarding for this narrative. It doesn't make any sense. Second, Bagoom is not a Shadowverse owned website. The guy just decided to stop. That's not really Shadowverse's fault. That's not Shadowverse's fault if the guy just doesn't want to keep up the website anymore. Okay? Korean voiceover. That's actually a good point. This game used to be localized to a lot more stuff. So that I'll give you that. That is for sure. That is for sure. Flavor texts were better written? What are you waffling about? What a weird nitpick. That literally is so nonsense. So subjective and like just makes no sense as a criticism whatsoever. Old flavor texts were better written. That's like the nitpick of nitpicks. Next, story modes translated into French. Yes, like I said, the localization, they only do English, Japanese. They do Chinese still. But yeah, I agree with you that the localization has been less. That's a valid point, okay? Wonderland Dreams being the start of a downfall is true. That's actually objectively true. Wonderland Dreams sent a lot of people packing. It was early in the game's lifespan. The power level was off the charts. People left. They went to new avenues, okay? It's true that Wonderland Dreams really did harm the game. That's just a fact. That's a fact. But Wonderland Dreams was also like 7 years ago, so, or something like that. So even if it did harm the game, clearly the game was still going strong enough to be fine for many, many years after, right? It's sort of like it dipped and then it just went, it went back. It came back, all right? Don't worry about it. Wonderland Dreams definitely did harm the game though. That's just a fact. Back in the day when they were doing nerfs like for neutral blood, they'd actually tell you why and release win rates as evidence. Now they don't. That is true. They did actually used to do that. And I wish they would go back to doing that. I will say though, the obfuscation to let the meta develop naturally rather than giving the players too much data, I get it. But it would be nice if they at least released, if not win rates, like a proper justification for why they're nerfing what they're doing. Even if they're not doing database justification, it would be nice if they still at least just gave data justification. I agree with that. Next. Sure, they kept releasing new things for the game for a while after that, like Portal and Rotation Unlimited Split. Those are huge things. Those are absolutely massive things. It's so weird to just gloss over that. Not only that, but we got Open 6, we continuously got new story. The game is still dubbed into English. During the pandemic, there was a time where the cards weren't dubbed into English yet, and that was the perfect opportunity to drop the English dub entirely, but they didn't. They brought it back. Once the pandemic was a little more, manageable, they brought the dub back. It's not like they don't care about English. That's ridiculous. Next. We didn't get Shadowverse Next for a long time. Shadowverse Next is a game-changing announcement that changes the entire state of the game. It's not a yearly event. I don't know. This is a weird criteria to base Shadowverse Next on. Next, Shadowverse 1 has filled the space it can. There's so much design space between the rather simple compared to MTG structure. So much power to creep. Masking power is increasingly lenient. This one I actually do kind of agree with. I think SV1, the engine is old. There's a reason why we're moving on, right? But yes, this one I do kind of agree with. I would love Shadowverse Evolve World Beyond with new mechanics to just completely have more design space for the game. This one, I pay this one. Next. It's been a good time. I wish they'd let us take mementos with it. We already know that Albert's back. Here's Albert for 5 seconds. We're probably not getting him back if they refuse to port non-collab leaders. I think it's more likely that they port non-collab leaders than collab leaders simply because of the rights ownership issues. I think not getting leaders from the old game into the new game it is sad. Honestly, it does suck. And yeah, that's my response. Let's see what the comments say. Hope to see you all in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond plus Ultra Shadowba Tano Ishii. That's cute.